I grew up in a classic American suburb. My parents drove SUVs in rush hour traffic to jobs that they didn't enjoy. I attended school where I ate lunch out of plastic wrappers. Each day after school, I returned home to consume cartoons and video games on flat-screen televisions. When I misbehaved in class, I was labeled ADD and given drugs to keep me obedient. I was promised that if I worked hard, pinched my pennies, and stayed in line, one day I could have my own slice of the American dream. And I did exactly that. At the age of 25, I was self-employed with a 6-figure yearly income. I had a nice car in the driveway, food in the fridge, and a big house to play my drums in. But I was stressed out and strung out, depressed and lonely, overworked and overmedicated, addicted to dopamine rushes and avoiding my next crash. One thing became extremely clear. There has to be another way.
In October of 2023, while backpacking across Europe, we received a recommendation from a friend to visit a place in Slovenia that features a very alternative way of living. A way that prioritizes community, living in harmony with nature, and above all, the spiritual glue that holds us together. This place represented to us freedom from a strung-out existence we were taught to accept. It showed us a glimpse of what the future could look like, should we choose to follow a similar path. This place is called the Pachamama Center, and here is its story.
Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at these beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me.
I originally grew up in Kunova, in this village where I live today. I also went later a little bit around the world.
Beautiful stars, I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me.
So after 10 years of traveling around the world, I landed, or I came back to this place, and I started with a new, fresh impressions from around the world.
Look at these beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car.
This is the house here. Very first picture, 1993.
That's what it started as.
That's the very first picture. No workshop, no meditation hall, nothing.
When I came to this land here, there was just one small cottage house and one cherry tree. This is a love corner.
This is the very first project.
This is the very first project. Here was a big field of maize. Everything empty, nothing, just some flowers. We said, let's build something. Let's build a bench, make a wall behind it, so if someone comes, doesn't see us immediately, and we can see down.
You want to sit maybe right there? Yeah, perfect.
I just make this the last week.
Just last week?
Yeah, I repair it. Diraz didn't see it for sure. He don't care. This is our corner, but he don't care.
I met Luz 27 years ago. One friend called me from Ljubljana if I could give her a lift to Hungary.
I think in life is everything what it have to happen, it happens. You cannot avoid. So I met him when I was going through Hungary and the auto stop, and he helped me to cross the border. And
after 6 years, she called me to thank me that I gave her lift at that time to her, you know. Man's intuition tells you immediately, oh my God, after 6 years, to be thankful for the lift, you know.
After 6 years, we met again, and it was like when I come here to visit his house here, and I felt that, oh my gosh, only is missing the sound of the kid.
I couldn't ask for better parents, to be honest. I'm really proud and happy with it, grateful. I mean, they gave me quite this freedom in life and a very big view in life. I don't know if I would be who I am right now without them.
I met my wife hitchhiking. We put even the plates from the car from that time in between the mosaic, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, license plate is from Yugoslavia.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very old, you know. We were still young and crazy, you know. Out of this, you can see how the mind works. Because then next idea came, oh, we could do this, oh, we could do that.
And the ideas kept pouring in. Over the years, Diraj, Luz, and Osho, with the help of an army of volunteers, have created a sprawling complex of 33 unique and functioning installations, ranging from organic farms to workshops, a meditation center, storefronts, and even a traditional Native American sweat lodge. Pachamama Center has become a community-focused garden oasis in the hills of Slovenia, drawing in thousands of curious tourists to take part in guided tours, arts and craft workshops, cultural rituals, and even Vipassana meditation retreats.
Every human being should leave a small corner of planet Earth more beautiful than he found it. If everyone would do in that way, we wouldn't have the wars and all these destructions. It was the biggest inspiration for me to make something beautiful, something that will touch everyone a little bit.
Pachamama's food supply comes from 3 spring and summer gardens, 2 small orchards, 1 year-round winter garden, and a 55-meter freshwater well.
It's a very simple garden. We did try to experiment with different ways, you know. And for me, this is the best. Very simple, and you have the control over it, you know. Not more than 20 centimeters, and underneath is a mesh protection, so no animals are coming from the ground. Pure compost, no soil. You don't need the tools. Everything you can work just with the hand. And we protect this with the shavings, wooden shavings, so there is not much weed, and it grows perfectly.
When organic material from the kitchen or around the grounds needs to be disposed of, they bring it here. This is a compost heap, so food scraps, leaves, whatever it is that can break down gets thrown in this pile. In time, this pile then turns into a rich, nutrient-dense base for seeds to be planted into. Seeds grow into food. Food waste produces scraps. Scraps become future compost. And the cycle continues. No plastic, no grocery store, no need for anyone but yourself.
Wow. Can I eat it right now?
Yes, of course.
Whoa.
There's a lot of antioxidant.
Oh my God. It's like a fruit.
Yeah, it is fruit.
Wow.
But Inca's tomatoes, they say.
Inca's tomato. It's a fruit that's this yellow bulb, and it's so sweet and tasty.
It tastes like a tomato with a lot of sugar in it. It's really good.
So I eat what I grow. I don't like to buy in the shops so much.
Today you don't know anymore where is this coming from, how was it treated, you know, with what chemicals, or, you know, it's just too much. But here it's so simple.
The food is the medicine, and if you know what you're growing, you know what you're putting into your body. Slovenia, mostly people are having their own garden. Even in the center of Ljubljana, you will see people having a garden. I learned here how to be a gardener. I was a hairdresser. I was a city girl. People are afraid to have garden, but it's so beautiful, so easy. From the garden to the pot is the best way how you can be healthy.
Just using the tires like a garden, it grows even better because it is a little bit reason underneath is protected, and inside also just pure compost. We call this 100 years onion. You're just cutting all the time and it grows more and more.
Well, if it's not so hard winter, we still have here also. Now I just put some seeds, but when it's very hard winter, we have only one.
We wanted to have a small underground winter garden. I was quite much inspired by the American guy from New Mexico who built an earthship there and made many experiments, you know. We made first like a protection wall here. You see that the earth didn't come down, you know. And we did reinforce a little bit here with this pillar, because it was too much pressure. The combination of earthship of tires and mosaic, and in the middle is this high bed, you know, for the garden, and this is actually from last year. It has survived the winter. It grows very well. You have to have enough light. That's the condition, you know, and here is on the very limit, you know. And at the same time, because on the top is also garden, and from the top we are collecting water which is coming here down.
So right now we are on top of the winter garden. The roof is covered in soil, and there's actually a garden up here. That way, when they water the upper garden, what water runs off the upper garden actually runs down and then again is recycled, reused by the garden below it. Really cool way to preserve and get the most out of the watershed that they have here at Pachamama. So after 15 minutes walking through the garden with Luz, we've returned now to the house and we have a basket full of vegetables. These vegetables are going to be cooked up by Lindsay and turned into a beautiful dish that will be the lunch and dinner for the 5 people that are living here at Pachamama right now.
So here is a big pot of Mexican spiced rice. Everything except for the rice came from the garden. Tomatoes, onions, peppers, leeks, all in there. It's so cool that the food that we're cooking is grown right here. You go out to the garden, you harvest it, and then instantly, like 10 minutes later, it's being cooked and then eaten. And it's all just like the freshest possible produce because of that.
Thanks to the multiple gardens, both winter and summer, here on property, Pachamama has a steady supply of vegetables year-round.
We have so many volunteers, and it was always enough of vegetables, you know. If you take a little bit meditative approach to growing the food, then you see that it brings not only the food but also this reconnection to the nature. Can you imagine you go every day a little bit around, not just pulling out the weeds, but to check the plants. Oh, look at this, and it gives you some kind of joy, because the nature is so abundant, so rich. It gives everything, you know. But I think this is even more important than just to get the food, you know, but to establish this connection. Then you appreciate really life gives you everything. When you discover this beauty, such things like this week just grows out of nothing, you know, and it's most healthy. It cannot be more healthier than it is, you know.
It's not a job, it's like loving to yourself and being kind to Mother Earth.
You know, after 10 years of traveling, I spent all money on traveling. So I start with nothing. I start recycling the things. I start using the things which were free or very cheap. So the whole Pachamama Center is actually a very good example. How can you do the things with a little money or with a different approach?
In the heart of Pachamama can be found Open Gallery.
We call this place Open Gallery because we have many examples at the one spot.
A space that showcases the unconventional and unique building methods used throughout the grounds.
When I was traveling, you meet very different things, you know, different way of building something. Oh, there are ecological houses. I never heard about this, you know.
An ecological building, or an eco-building, is constructed to harmonize with local climate, traditions, and culture. Eco-buildings aim to use resources efficiently, reduce waste, and minimize the overall impact on human health and the environment. Pachamama utilizes both recycled materials and natural materials, such as clay, straw, mud, bamboo, and hemp, to create its structures.
In Slovenia, it's very popular building with hemp material, you know. These are typical hemp bricks, you know, because we have a lot of hemp in Slovenia. It's quite easy available material, you know.
So many of the installations here are made out of simple, everyday materials that many people would actually just regard as trash. Old tires, hay bales, broken tiles, bottles.
The bottles are small, and I went so many times to the pub where they collect this bottle for me, and you cannot just go to the pub and take the bottles, you have always to drink something, and
All of these elements come together in a really beautiful and special way.
When I was young, they all built like this, and they didn't call it ecological. They built because it was natural. They didn't have the shops to buy the bricks and so on, they made them. We are just making one step back to the time when they were doing like this,
This is a very good example of building with the straw. The frame is out of the wood, and you see, very good. You finish with the clay inside and with the other water-resistant material on outside. We did try also to build with bricks, clay bricks, not burnt, but just we dry them on the sun, clay mixed with the straw, like they used to do it, and you have a kind of form, shape, you fill it, pull it out, and let it dry on the sun, and you glue it together, and you get a very good building or wall or whatever, I always like the Buddha statue, especially when I discovered that the word Buddha means awakened one. In Slovenian language we have the same word as si buden, did you wake up? I decided, we need to have one. Of course I check it, and they are very expensive. So the friend came up and he said, let's make one. I said, oh, that's very good. Let's make it, but how? How can we make it?
Oh, here we go. Yeah, it looks like styrofoam.
Buddha is made out of this. It's kind of foam concrete. So we came to the material. I immediately went to buy a big square. So I make a big block, glue it together, put it together, and we start doing it. You see, it's very easy to shape it. It's not hard. That's the result. We painted the chimney with different colors, and I really like it because later people came and kids came, and the kids always noticed first the chimney, and they said, Mom, why do we don't have such a chimney at home,
Yeah, that's awesome.
When I came here and found this old house, I start renovating in a classical way, typically classical, with modern methods. But then I came across first with anthroposophy, Rudolf Steiner.
Rudolf Steiner was an Austrian-born spiritualist, lecturer, and founder of anthroposophy, a movement based on the notion that there is a spiritual world comprehensible to pure thought, but accessible only to the highest faculties of mental knowledge. In his legacy, he left behind the Goetheanum in Switzerland. This architectural masterpiece features organically expressive forms, curved edges, and a colorfully muraled ceiling. This building represents a leap forward in the architecture of its time and was a large inspiration for the styles of architecture featured at Pachamama.
I think you develop according to your understanding. How you do outside, it's actually a result of your inner view. And I remember when I discovered that there are not many sharp corners in the world, you start looking, you start observing the nature, and you see in nature is everything flexible and curved, nothing is straight and no sharp corners, You feel better in such a place. And then you apply the nature materials. The environment is breeding, is of course more sensitive to the animals, or they also like nature materials better than artificial. That was the reason that we started doing in this way, to make a more, not only beautiful, but more healthy environment and simple.
Because I like to experiment with the building, we built a small meditation house out of the big straw bales, 2.5 meter long, 1.70 meter thick, more than 450 kilo. Out of just 28 straw bales, we put together like Lego. No wooden construction, simple roof over it, covered inside and outside with a clay. Let's go to the straw bales house. You see the walls. They are 70 centimeters thick. You know, perfect insulation.
The door's been open all day.
Yeah.
And it's like at least 10 degrees cooler in here.
Yeah. In summer it's very cool, and in winter it stays much longer warm because the place was meant to be built for dance, yoga, meditation. Has no windows. We use the candles to light it up, you know, it gives a special effect or feeling. No disturbance from outside, you know, no noise, no other things, you know. When we close the door, then we look inside. I saw in Devon, in England, first time these thatch houses, you know. I said, oh, we are going to have this. We bought it with loose material, you know, water it in Hungary, because you don't get everywhere, you know. One mister from England who was prepared to come over from England and teach us how to do it. I made some tools for this, you know, because if you want to, you see, to push it regularly, then you need certain tools, you know. But after 1 week, I realized we've done only maybe 5 square meters, and I have around 270. When I realized how much work is this, I wanted to give up. Can you imagine? You have a big bunch of water it, and then you have the machine. You need at least 2-3 hands more to hold the ladder, and it was so difficult. Half a year later, I had a dream. Heard a voice in English. Someone said to me, "This roof, you were attaching this roof just because of your self-discipline." And at that time, I realized it doesn't matter where you are, what you do. You get the proper lesson, what is necessary for you. Even if you don't need to go to the monastery or whatever, you get the lesson. Because I was seriously thinking about burning down everything, you know, or I don't know what, committing suicide, because it was such a project. Crazy project, you know. Can you imagine? 2 years I was on the roof.
And what about me?
Oh my God. You know, it took me almost 2 years to finish all 270 square meters. You prove yourself that you are able to do it. I'm proud that we've done it, you know. When you remove the belief that you cannot do something, if you remove this and just replace it with, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it, you know. Then again, new dimension opens. You can do whatever you want, you know. Because I never thought I will be wood turning or building. You can do it, you know. We have all potential. It's just up to us. The more you put the focus in certain things, the better we will be. Behind every small detail, there's a story. Here's the Buddha statue painted by one lady from Singapore. And it's not ordinary Buddha statue, but it's a statue which was stolen by Japanese, I think from Korea. And it almost came to the war because of this statue between these two states, you know. And she said, I will paint it, that statue, you know.
So over the last 30 years, Pachamama has evolved from a humble farmhouse on an empty plot of land to the garden oasis meditation center that you see today. And in those 30 years, Dheeraj and Luz have had a lot of help. Dheeraj estimates that over 800 volunteers have come through this space and left their mark in one way or another. From the paintings on the walls to the tiles that make up the mosaics that cover the floors, this space is an ensemble of hundreds of voices, all singing in harmony, that creates the energy you can feel when strolling through the gardens.
You're getting more and more powerful place because every person who is paying, let's say, 1 week, 2 weeks attention to certain project, you know, he's not just paying the attention, but this is his energy.
The last 7 years, it comes a lot of volunteers from all around the world, and they want to also learn how to be self-sustainable living.
Most of them really wanted to participate and to contribute a kind of art or to leave some traces here. And he leaves the traces in a shape of, I don't know, mosaic or some paintings or whatever.
This is a fig tree.
Yeah, it's a fig tree. And some beautiful mosaic made by Moroccan girls quite a few years ago. Everyone has left some different impression. Later, people feel this, you know, they feel it's not just a picture, but it's an energy behind it, you know, and more people comes, more such impression you have, the more mysterious or powerful place is getting.
And some of volunteers also finish the job. They are working for big companies, they have a lot of money. In the end, they feel like we cannot live like this. That's not life. And they want to be volunteers, and they completely change their lives also.
What has been your favorite part about growing up in the Pachamama Center?
Probably just meeting so many new people. All the stories you hear from people, and they come and go. The things they live here is like amazing, you know, and experiences they share with you. I remember this night, you know, there was a big rain, it was really raining. All these people, you know, there was like 10 of us. We just went outside and we were dancing in the rain, in the mud, barefoot. No music or anything, you know, just the rain, very strong rain, and all just dancing in the circles, holding hands. This was for me like such joy, you know, it's like, I would say this is what I really liked.
Pachamama mi pomeni svoboda,
Pachamama mi pa predstavlja en lep mali raj naravni v naših krajih.
in Pachamama rad prihajam, ker je tu ljubezen.
Pachamama Center, it's the center of the cultural mix, open mind, free spirit, and one also very important, back and connected with the pure nature, the Mother Earth. So that is Pachamama.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I like very much when someone said, one guy from America, you know, life is experiment. And if you do an experiment, you cannot do wrong because you've never done before. Yeah, I was thinking sometimes, oh, I need to do more this, I need to do better this, you know. I should ask myself, maybe, where is this coming from? For whom I have to be better, or for whom I have to improve that, you know. Maybe it's more on this ability to accept yourself as you are, because we are already as we should be. The society, the parents, the school, they gave us certain limitation or repressed us a little bit, you know, and then, you know, we are fighting, especially in the first part of the life, to become better, to become something. But when you realize that you are already good enough, and maybe you don't need to master too much the things, you know.
One message to everybody watching this film that you think is like the most important message, what you want to leave behind on this earth, like Luz's message about life, what would you tell people?
Oh my gosh, this is very strong. Do what you love to do, and don't be afraid. Believe and trust to yourself. When you trust, everything comes. We have to throw out the fear. Fear doesn't allow you to do anything. But everything you have, you just do it. And when you really love, do with your heart and you know what you want to do, it's, I think, very important.
I like work very much, you know. Sometimes I work the whole day in the workshop and I'm never tired. The work is not work anymore when you do something what you like, what you're enjoying, you know. But when you have to go somewhere or do something what you don't like, then becomes a burden. In winter, when I'm the whole day in workshop, I cannot believe it, how quickly the time passes, you know. And you're doing something, you're totally in creativity. You're not thinking about how much I will get for this product or whatever, but you're just working or doing, creating because of some inner joy, you know. You're making something new. For example, if I sell this product at the end, first I was enjoying when I was doing this, you know, experimenting with the golden leaves here, and then someone buys this, then I won completely, you know, because I was happy already doing it.
To everyone watching this video, in just a couple sentences, what do you think is the most important thing that you can share?
The first sentence came to my mind was, don't take too seriously. Don't take too seriously, you know, because I mentioned before this phrase, life is like an experiment, and we don't know how should be the result because we never done it before. At least we don't remember. So let's take it like this.
Thanks for watching the Pachamama documentary. We really hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to visit Pachamama or register to volunteer at the center, you can find info on how to do both in the description. If this film inspired you in some way, we'd love to hear from you in the comment section. Let's get a discussion going about the topics presented here today. Like, subscribe, and we will see you all in the next video.